Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 4 of the Quantum Healing January Quick Start. So excited to have you here with me. It's been a really great journey. We've had a real good group so far this week. Seems like we're a little small today. Maybe bolster up, and have had people hanging out and watching over on YouTube and later. And so it's lovely to you that are sharing your videos again to see your faces. These are very clear. Yeah, let me turn off the background and put on my phone. So I'm super grateful to have you all here and joining me for another day of quantum healing. And today we're going to be talking about somatic experience, the body, the physicality, because you can't have and do energy and healing and all that stuff without recognizing that we have a body. Whoop, this thing. So we're going to talk about that because I think a lot of times we get stuck in one of the two ways, right? We get either stuck super over here in this one side or really physical in this side over here. But we've got the goal in our lifetimes, right? Here, what we're here for is to marry the two, is that yin and yang of bringing those two experiences together. So knowing that the body is such an important part for healing, for transforming, for changing. So let's recap where we've been. On day 1, we talked about intention and clarity.
So now speaking out. Former Attorney General Bill Barr telling CNN, quote, the president's conduct yesterday was a betrayal of his own.
That for sure. Hold on, let me figure out how to mute everybody. All right. I haven't listened to the news in some 10 years and don't plan on starting now. Don't even know what's going on in the world. I actually got on a call yesterday with someone, that was signing up for one of our programs and was like, I live in Canada, but I'm super stressed about what's going on in the US. And I was like, what's going on? And she's like, you don't know what's going on in DC? And I'm like, no, I have no idea. I know that sounds really bad, but I live in a different world. So I did go and find out that there was something going on. And I was just like, oh, okay, next. Anyways, anyways, back to day number 1 was about intention and clarity. And again, if you guys want to turn your videos on so I can see your beautiful faces like Olga has for me, thank you. I would love that. I love seeing your energy. And it's been wonderful once I started asking that for those of you that can to share. Hey, hi, Eric. I got the Kane brothers here. Awesome. Hi, Deanna. Is it Deanna? Is that how you say it? Hopefully. All right. And Elena. Yay. Awesome. Hello, everyone. Beautiful faces. Thank you. And day 1 was about intention and clarity and really getting clear about what we want to create in our healing, right? Because when I say quantum healing, it can be whatever that looks like for you. It could be a physical healing. It could be a mental healing. It could be a healing from a traumatic experience. It could be a healing in your love or in your relationships or in your finances or any of those types of things, right? So intention and clarity for 2021. What do you want to create, transform, heal, manifest in your lives? Trying to stay away from the word manifestation as much as possible because I think it's a buzzword that sometimes that we don't really quite understand. So, not that much. So then day 2, we talked about alignment and we did an exercise to come into alignment. And when I say alignment, talking about aligning our all of our heart and our mind and our body into the field, into the body, right? Getting into a space so that you can get into that openness of the field or the gap. Which is what we talked about on day 3. Day 3, we talked about the quantum void and the gap. And I taught you a couple of exercises to how to start to see energy and like understand that there's energy in between things and everywhere. And it's just like anything else. It's a practice, right? Like if I'm gonna be a fitness competitor, I'm gonna go to the gym every day. If I want to move energy and learn how to heal with it, I'm gonna have to practice with it every day until it becomes something that is a part of me. So today we're going to talk about somatic experience or the body and physical wellness and health, because this is what I know. I've run half marathons. I've done triathlons. I was a fitness and figure competitor. I have done all of the physical, right? Like I just went ice climbing and snowboarding, and I surf, and I've hiked and backpacked all over the world and summited and done all that cool stuff. Like I'm a big adventurous, love sports and outdoor. And I know that the physical body, that it needs certain things to be able to move. But what I have found is doing deep spiritual healing work is even more taxing on our physical bodies than all of that physical stuff that I do. I can get more tired from doing the physical, the spiritual deep work that I'm doing, and feel more drained from that when I'm not harnessing it right, when I don't know how, right, than I can from all of these other crazy physical activities and things that I'm doing. So I would not be doing you a service if we talked about quantum healing and quantum energy and health and quick start in January, if we didn't talk about the body, physical experiences, the food that you're eating, the exercise that you're doing, the way that you're moving, that kind of stuff, right? And I know everybody, when you say the word exercise, even I don't like the word exercise. Like I don't exercise. I do adventure, right? Like that's how I did. I was a fitness and figure competitor, and I used to work out 40 hours a week in a gym. And I starved myself, and I looked super pretty, and I was one of those that was on the, could be in the magazines. I won a bunch of awards. I got great pictures. But I was working out all the time, and I was super unhealthy, and I actually ended up with adrenal issues and all sorts of stuff like that. And so exercise, that word exercise to me is a big poo-poo. Like, I don't like it. Like I haven't been back inside of a gym since I quit competing. I go now I would do a CrossFit gym, or I'll run outside, or I'll do different things. But when you tell me to go exercise, I say, absolutely not. I say, go do something that you love and find something to move your body. I love yoga. I do Pilates. I go get stretched by Elena when she used to live here in LA. She moved to New York. So I have to find somebody new, but things like that get your body into the movement. So we're in this, remember this 30-day, 28-day commitment into doing new things for January. So how many of you are committed to some sort of a dance, even like movement in your life, whatever that looks like for you? And I want you to share in your chat. Yes, share in the chat what that looks like for you, because I want everyone to see that there's so many ways to move your body that's powerful. And for those of you that we do a lot of trauma-informed work. I've done work with PTSD and trauma, and I've worked with suicide and different organizations all over the world. And one of the things that I do know, a Peloton class. I want to do that. It sounds really fun. I keep seeing the Pelotons, and that sounds really fun. Awesome. And what I've recognized is that when, moving, and I forgot what I was saying because I got all excited about the Peloton. See, none of this is scripted. I don't know what we're up to here. We're just having a fun time. So jump rope. Ooh, jump rope. I like that. About 10 to 20 minutes of yoga every evening. Yes. Oh, that's what I was saying. The body, when we work with trauma and things like that, like the body has to integrate it. So a lot of times we'll go to I'm studying in cognitive behavioral therapy and a bunch of other things that have to do with like therapy here when you think it through or talk it through. And we do the spiritual work, but if you recognize that the body is still holding on to the trauma, maybe the emotion or the trigger, and if we don't move it out of there, if we don't find a way to have that experience of movement in there, it will stay stuck in the body. So dog walking and hiking. Yeah, absolutely. Qigong, Tai Chi. Oh, see, look at all of these amazing ways to move. I love it. And so that's one of the things that I want everyone to commit to, is really understanding that movement and is one of the ways to keep the body in a space for quantum healing. For like, if you're going to do this work, you're going to get into alignment, you want to heal something, you want to manifest, you want to create something, you have to be in that alignment, but the body has to be on board, right? It is a lot harder to create or heal something if your body is in a system of distress or shock. It's even called like the healing crisis. Like your body cannot heal in a state of stress, right? So you cannot heal in a state of stress. So That's why we actually teach you how to produce oxytocin, right? The love hormone. Because the love hormone, oxytocin, is the opposite of the stress hormone. And when you are producing oxytocin, you can't actually produce cortisol at the same time, which is the stress, right? And so things like that we can understand. Now, some exercise, right? Like if you go to the gym and lift lots of weights, that's a stress on the body, but it's a good stress that then when you allow yourself enough time for it to repair, it comes back, and those things. But I'm not talking about deep, exercise unless that's something you love to do. I actually just signed up. I'm going to do a half marathon in Jackson Hole coming up in June, because I've always wanted to go there, and I want to go to the Grand Tetons, and I want to go. So it gives me a good excuse to to go up there. But that's something that, it's fun for me. I love it. Now I'll be clear. In my 20s, I hated running, and I don't know what changed, but all of a sudden now I love it. I think it was because when I did my first half marathon a few years ago, it was such an incredible experience, and I became somebody that really enjoyed that, and it becomes a meditation for me. So great. So body, physical, right? Understanding that you need some sort of movement to integrate this work. Second is about the food that you eat and the nutrition and supplements and things that you put in your body. Now you guys can see I'm wearing, I have this thing on here right now. I don't know if you guys can see, I have my Healy on. So I'm actually taking in nutrients right now. I have a nutrition cycle on it where it's giving me, I think I'm doing B12 and something else. So I've gone from taking pill vitamins to vibrational vitamins. It's awesome. But what I want to talk about when it comes to nutrition and food, how many of you are pretty good about the way that you eat? You're like, yeah, like pretty good, like not perfect. I don't want anybody to be perfect, but you're like, I'm pretty good. Me too. To be clear, I'm a holistic health former. I don't do it anymore, but holistic health coach, holistic hormone therapist. I was a fitness and figure competitor. I was a physical trainer, right? That's how I started years ago. After when I actually was transitioning, when I ended up homeless in 2009, the work that I was actually doing in 2009 when I got fired from my job was personal training. Obviously, it wasn't making me any money. So I was homeless, but so I understand about, and so I went on to get my holistic health coaching degree and to get a holistic hormone therapist degree. So I really understand the parts of nutrition, but I had adrenal fatigue. I had psoriasis over my whole body. I had digestive issues. I would have like the candida, all these different things going on. And I spent years up until 2015, super, super struggling, even though I had all of the wisdom in the world. And I always held on to all this extra weight. To be clear, about 10 or 15 pounds. I'm not, but in my mind, it was a lot of weight. But it was like, but it was something about everything that I felt like everything was a struggle. And I really started studying more about the food systems in the United States, because then I started traveling overseas, and I would notice I felt different whenever I was not in the US, eating their foods. In Indonesia, eating food right off of a tree, or finding, in Europe, when you're eating, you can actually eat a croissant every day when you're in Paris and you don't gain any weight. And you're like, what's going on? Right? Like all of these things that I started to notice. And the more research that I did and really understood from working in the world of health, is that our food systems in the United States, and I would say probably all of North America, our soils and everything are pretty distraught. They're pretty sad. That we have some real major issues with our food systems, with the way that animals are treated, with all of those different types of things. And so I struggled for a really long time to feel like food was nourishing me. I loved it. I went raw for a time. I did paleo. I did vegan. I've done keto. I've done, everything that you think that's possible that you've probably heard of, I've probably tried at one point or another. Anybody else been in that, where like I've tried a lot of the different things, but never really felt like my body was getting nourished in the way that I wanted. And so what I have found, and what I stumbled upon back about, I guess it's been we're in January already. This is 2021. So this was so almost a year ago now. So like last February, I started taking superfood supplements, and I never was about the supplements before, right? I was always kind of like, supplements, like, I don't know, like that stuff just seems silly. I can get all of my nutrition from Whole Foods, like I can eat and not the store Whole Foods, to be clear, but foods that are whole. Right. So I was like, I can get all of my nutrition and the things that I need from whole foods. Yes. And turns out that those whole foods that I'm thinking are supplying nutrition into my system, one, my body wasn't digesting it the way that I thought or wanted it to, because it had its own stuff still going on that wasn't quite healed. Two, the food wasn't nutritionally vibrant. It didn't have enough nutrients in it. So no matter how much good food I'm putting in my body, there's just no way that I was able to get enough nutrients. So after I was done competing in 2010, and about 2015, I got to a certain weight and I just stayed there. And it was like, I mean, I'm 5'11", 165 is a really great weight for me. I wore a size 6'8", right? Like I always look good. People are like, you're pretty. Like it was like, I felt good in my body, but I always had a little bit of just kind of like, boy, I wish I could have more something. And I had a friend that contacted me. She's like, you really got to try this stuff. I really, really love it. And so I started taking the superfood supplements. And I was doing intermittent fasting with it, right? So there's a whole system that you do, and you do intermittent fasting. But I had been doing intermittent fasting for a long time, and it didn't do the things that I wanted it to do. Within 1 month of doing this with the intermittent fasting, the difference was on the days that I fasted, I took a cleanse drink that like pulled the toxins out of my body. It turned out that what was happening is that my body actually was just holding on to toxins, and it was keeping me from being a full channel, like for clearness. Like after I started doing this, I became even more aligned with the field. I was able to have more energy for the work that I was doing. My stuff with my clients, when I would pick up on things, like sitting with them and everything got stronger. And it was because my body was clearing toxins. Now I'm probably holding toxins for a really long time. To be clear, most of you that know my story by now know that I did a massive amount of drugs in my 20s. And then when I was competing, I did a massive amount of other drugs that, were probably not the best for me, that, gave me some more manly kind of, things for a while. But so my body had years and years of abuse and toxins on it that no matter how much I had worked on trying to heal, quantum healing, doing the things, that it just wouldn't go because I could not release these toxins. I lost 10 pounds. And now to be clear, size 6'8", right? Like not heavy, not overweight, lost 10 pounds into a size 4 in 1 month. And it was all just toxins. It was just stuff clearing out of my body. And I haven't gained it back. I have not gained it back. And I feel really clear. And I love the product so much. And they have like essential oils and all sorts of stuff, the ones that I take. Now you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying, I can happily share with you my stuff, but if not, just what I want you to recognize is that our food systems here in the United States and a lot of parts of the world are not as fruitful as we want them to be. And our bodies aren't able to naturally detox the way that it's supposed to. We're naturally supposed to be able to do that, right? Like we're supposed to be able to, and I believe, I'm like, listen, I live in a quantum world. That's what I'm saying. I live in a quantum world. I believe you can heal anything. I've seen people heal from everything, right? But there's also a part of me that recognizes that the body sometimes has to be tended to and cared for in a different way. And so I used the cleanse system. It was really awesome. And I didn't tell anybody about it for like 6 months. I just kept taking the products and the other things. And then I started taking, I love bone broth, and they had their own bone broth because I could stop making my own, and it came in packets and I could travel with it. And like, I used to make my own kombucha and kefir, and that can be a pain in the butt and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't say anything about it for 6 months. And then last year I took a journey and I took a group of about 20 people through a 9-day cleanse with the products. And the people that did the 9 days that were able to stick with it and were able to do it, that didn't have, like not everything is great for everybody, that were able to do it, had mind-blowing results. And all of them stayed on. I said, we started with 9 days, but I recommended doing this for 30 days. One of the women, who is also a dear friend of mine, had not slept through the night in 8 years. 8 years. She woke up every night in the middle of the night. And she wears one of those Apple Watch things, so it tracks all your stuff. She gave me all of her trackings from day 2 of taking the products. She was sleeping through the night, and all of her numbers and all of her stuff from her Apple Watch changed. it was mind blowing because I got to see it in real life, the way that it was. And my mentor who introduced me to this stuff, she actually had her blood test done, and she went and had blood tests done before and then blood tests done later. And her doctor said it's some of the best blood tests she had ever seen. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I believe if you want to heal something in your body, if you're struggling in some sort of way, there are two things that you could be missing at this point. One would be, are you getting physical? Are you moving? Is there trauma stuck in your body? In nature, when an animal gets scared or has fear, what does it do? It'll lay on the ground and it'll shake. It'll shake like this, and it'll shake all of it out. And the body doesn't hold on to the trauma, but yours is. So movement, making sure that your body is healing or letting go of the trauma. And then 3, are you nutritionally taking in good nutrition? Is it actually staying in your body? Are you releasing the toxins that you need to? Those 3 factors are really going to make a difference in how you are healing, or the things that are changing for you, or the way that you do. Yeah, Daniel, the products if you're interested in what I'm using, I'm going to put the link here in the chat for you. And you're more than welcome. I can jump on a chat with you and tell you about the specific products that I was using and the things and the whole process and what I was doing. I'm happy to do that and jump on a chat with you and walk you through the whole process. And even I even have a whole mind body cleanse system that when you take these products, I give you all of these meditations to go with it, and a whole support system from my quantum stuff, so that you're doing a quantum mind body cleanse. So it's a really cool way to balance that. So for me, what I want you to know is I just want you to know you can use my products, you can use anybody else's products. I don't care. Just know that if you are a whole foods person like I was, that you might still be nutritionally deficient, or your body might be holding on to stuff. If you were ever somebody that had, like myself, issues with lots of drugs or doing bad things and like really not liking my body, that kind of trauma and traumatic stuff, hold on. Even though I'm healing, I mean, I had eczema over my whole body and I healed all of it except for one little spot, right? I helped my bones in my teeth. I grew back through quantum healing. Like, so I have some pretty powerful shit that I can do, but I also know that what I did with my teeth didn't come until after I'd done the cleanse and after I'd started these products, because my body and my mind and my channel were more clear for me to get in alignment with that. So that's really the power and the feeling of that for you. So what we're going to do today is we're going to dance a little bit. Anybody want to dance with me? So you don't have your videos on. I know, but that's okay. But I'm going to play one of my favorite songs that I play in the morning. And what I'm going to challenge you to do, if you're driving, I saw you, Eric, you were driving. You can't do this. You can, well, actually you can, Eric, if you're driving. I do. Anybody else do car dancing? Like, everybody hates being stuck. So I live outside of LA, and sometimes I drive to LA, and it used to be before COVID, in an hour and a half flight, or if I say flight, because I used to take flights because I got so tired of it, an hour and a half drive to do that. But I never was upset. Why? I danced in my car. The people around me thought I was crazy. I'd be like this, one hand on the wheel. Sometimes I was driving with my knee and I'd be like this, stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play one of my favorite happy songs. And it's actually called Happy. You all know it. Super simple off of my happy playlist. And we're going to get up and we're going to move our bodies for this song. Where are we? Where's my happy? There it is. Is that no? Huh. This one's from, hold on. I'm all excited. I didn't even have anything ready for you guys. Oh, here we go. Happy. There. Okay. I'm going to play it for you. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Woo. Yeah. And I'm going, I'll dance. I just have a camera with me and travel. That's all right. I get it. I believe you're going to dance. I'm going to share the sound. Okay, the sound is being shared. We're gonna,
like I don't care, baby, by the way.
Woo! Yeah.
Because Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you know what happiness is to you.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that.
I'm gonna start actually. I hope you're all watching the gallery. You know,
Give
see
me all
everybody.
you
It's
got,
awesome.
don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine.
Yeah, woo woo.
No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like happiness is
No,
the
you think you
truth.
feel good, doesn't it?
I'm happy.
Yeah.
If you know what happiness is to you.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to
More
do.
play in your life.
Bring me
Have no
down.
joy and no play. It's good. No
Bring me down. Your love is
Play,
too
play,
hot.
play.
Bring me down. Can't nothing bring me down. I said, bring me down. Can't nothing bring me down. Your love is too hot. Bring me down. Can't nothing bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you know what happiness is to you.
Whatever's going on with your body.
Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
You never know what you're gonna get with
Clap
me.
along if you know what happiness is to you.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like
You never know what you're gonna get when you come for free classes all week, right? I'm all like sweaty now. I'm like, ooh, feels good. So let me turn that off because I know some people there's an issue when the background music is on. Yes. So understanding again that alignment, right? Getting yourself into that alignment requires the physical body. Physical body meaning the food that you're putting in it, the way that you're moving it, whatever the trauma is that might be stuck in it somewhere. Especially if you have a physical illness, physical disease, it's manifested most likely from some experience in your past that has gotten stuck in your body, right? 99% of all diseases are environmental and emotional, and only 1% are genetic. So, yay! Hi, Denise. So really understanding that we want to move that body, right? Make that happen. And we want to pay attention. So if you're interested and you want to know more about, like I said, any supplements, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you, if you want to know my plan and how I did it and about my intermittent fasting and the stuff like that and what I've done to help with my clearing, I put the link to the page there just so you guys can see that. But if you really want to know more and actually talk to me, I'll talk to you about what I did and tell you exactly which products that I've used and the things that I think are really great in that. And otherwise, so your commitment for your 30 days that we're working on in this quick start is to commit to a movement, right? Something that feels good, whether that's walking the dog or hiking or Qigong or Tai Chi. There were so many great things. The Peloton. I'm going to go find somebody that has a Peloton and try theirs. I really don't think that sounds exciting. Do that. And then look at your food systems. If you are a whole foods person, like I was, meaning I eat whole foods that are whole, not necessarily from Whole Foods, but foods that are whole, and even organic. Like I get farm to table organic food. I get all grass-fed meats and fishes and grass-fed fishes. Try that one out. I get all wild fish and grass-fed, right? Like I'm very, very, very conscious about the food that I buy. And I still was not getting the amounts of nutrition that I needed and was holding on to things and stuff. And so it's just something to be aware. And if you're looking at trying to heal something and you're trying to get in alignment or you're trying to keep, create that work with energy. You use more energy when you're doing spiritual work than you do when you're working out. So it's easier to go learn to run a half marathon than it is to physically and mentally and emotionally do this work till you get your body there. So I want you to do that. If you want to, just downloaded the Peloton app. So you have a Peloton? I'm coming to New York. Oh no, yeah. I'm like, I'm coming to New York to try yours out. What is the Peloton app? I don't know. I'll have to look at that. Okay. Let's see, put this back in here. And then I'm going to put my email. If you want to contact me directly, you guys have been so awesome here on with me all week. Melissa@melissabinkley.com will go directly to me instead of to my assistant. You can shoot me a message and say, hey, I want to talk to you about this stuff. Any of the stuff I've been talking about all week, whether it's about the quantum healing retreat that I have coming up, or the immersion, the 6-month program, or hold on, or about movement, or about supplements, or any of that good stuff. I'm happy to chat with you about any of that, or the Healy, if you guys are interested in the Healy. I know Denise, you should be getting some information about the Healy from us, and all of that fun stuff. And I will see you tomorrow for our final mini session of the Quantum Healing Quick Start. Thank you all for joining me for some dance today. If you have any questions or want to say anything before we go, just pop on and you can unmute yourself and say hi or anything like that. I will. Oh, hi.
Thank you.
You're welcome, dear. So good to see you. How is, I have a question. How is New York right now?
Oh, it's wonderful.